Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick, and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of XRP, taking a look at what has been going on most recently and what I would expect to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you have not yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not go ahead and check it out today. And if you are looking for a little bit more from the crypto space, Patreon services are also in the description down below. Okay guys, let's waste no more time. Let's jump right down into this, right? XRP paired up with USDT. We're on the hourly chart and Binance is our data source. Now, I'm going to keep this pretty brief as it has just been pretty much a boring kind of sideways trade here. I'll give you kind of the everything I think is likely going on here on the shorter time frames and what I would expect to happen next based on the data from XRP here. However, I do think it's important to note that Bitcoin seems to be on a slightly different path at the moment. And if things start to snap back together again, then we might actually see a lot more correlation between XRP and BTC. But for now, they do seem to be doing slightly different things, and therefore we'll proceed with the data that we have available on XRP. But please note that if Bitcoin decides to go down quite heavily, then we might see some of these altcoins follow suit as well. Okay. But for the most part, as you can see, we had this low point just down here. This is about 33 cents. This happened on the 12th of May, right? And then we had this pretty good bounce to the upside. It took us to about 46 cents. And then we saw this ABC structure head on down here. Lots of volatility, lots of kind of moves to the downside. And then we started to see this move on up, right? And we pulled back and so forth. We pretty much, from this low, which was the 26th of May, have done not too much in the way of price movements, right? We've gone up a little bit here, we've come back down, and so forth. But for the most part, what I'm looking at here is thinking that this is a giant kind of A, B, and C structure like this. And again, I don't think we're going to be hitting this high point or anything higher than this. And instead, what I think is likely to happen here is that we are going to pull back down. And this structure here, this ABC structure to the downside, this ABC structure to the upside, could also be looked at slightly differently. If I remove them, we could look at it almost like this. It's a giant A wave, some kind of giant B wave, and then some kind of giant C wave to take us down lower. Alternatively, could also be what brings us right the way down into those low ranges that I've been talking about previously, such as taking us down in towards that 25-cent range. So there's a lot of stuff kind of going on when it comes to XRP, but let's not get too carried away. Let's actually just bring this up, get rid of these, and bring back those. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of measure this out. How high do we think we're likely to go before we maybe start to see a significant pull to the downside? Okay, and if I grab the measurement of this entire A wave using the fib tool, move it over to our bottom just over here, which is this one. Okay, so I can move that B just over here. Our C wave has the ability to go up to as high as 44.43. Okay, and if we take that from the current price just here, it's about a 10% move. It's nothing major, but some significant gains could potentially be made. Now, when we bring the stochastic RSI up into play here, you can see that we're heading into this over sold area on this hourly chart. That's going to be indicating that we are likely to see upward directional moves, and the momentum is about to shift from down to upwards. Now, as we come up into the 4 hourly, you can see actually there's plenty of room to grow, but there is also plenty of room to fall to the downside as well. And so we should be, optimistic at this point in some upward directional move. It is going to be supported here on this 4 hourly chart, but it's got a cap to it, right? It's not going to go up to the moon instantaneously or anything like that. Like I said, we've got this 10% kind of area kind of scoped out there. Now on the 8 hour, we are actually quite high, but we could come up into this overbought area again, hitting that 44.43 cent range and being overbought on the 4 hourly, overbought on the 8 hourly, the hourly, and so forth. And then of course that will line us up nicely with where we are currently on our daily, ready for that significant pullback to the downside, right? So essentially the macro is obviously talking about downward movements. Okay, I obviously did say earlier about that area of around 25 cent, right? It's an interesting one. This Elliott wave triangle that we've been tracking, this E wave is overextending ever so slightly. The sideways trade is a very typical B wave move or fourth wave move. It's one of those two, and it could be right inside here in this kind of continuation pattern, and basically it could usher us into these lows. Once these lows are in, I am confident in an impulsive structure forming that takes us on out of here. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that one plays out, but for the most part, I'm not worried, I'm not concerned. I think this is just another fantastic opportunity. Now, there is still the possibility of actually coming all the way down towards this 17 cent area. And what it is, I'm going to grab hold of this horizontal range just here. Okay, now no one wants to hear it, but it is a possible scenario. On a 1-to-1 ratio, assuming that this is a B wave move, then that would actually put our C wave just around this double bottom at 17.35. So, we've got these areas that we might be, not wanting to necessarily see from a price appreciation perspective, but from an accumulation point of view, it could be absolutely fantastic. So I wouldn't hold my breath on it or anything like that. I think there's a lot of areas that we also want to kind of cover off beforehand, right? We want to make sure that we we lose some support levels before we can really talk confidently about 17.3 cent. But it is on the map, and we should acknowledge that it is a possible scenario. But I think really we want to kind of monitor the situation before we get there, right? What does the 618 look like? What does the 786 look like, for example, right? These are 25 cent or 20 cent ranges, and these are areas that are going to resonate incredibly well with the history of XRP as well. So we want to make sure that if we are thinking or trying to hold out for 17 cent, then we have to obviously see these support levels completely break down as well. So I think there's a lot of support to be found, but I am expecting downward move with the rest of the market overall. But I am first of all looking at a slight push higher before we actually pull back down. So yeah, the market's been boring. Hopefully that is coming to an end soon, and we'll get these bottoms in. Once these bottoms are completely sorted and we have all the accumulation zones acquired, then we can start looking for these right structures, these impulsive structures taking us on out of here. At the moment, our ABC structure here is indicating 655, but I would expect that to be lower as we potentially drop down into these low ranges. For example, if we were to come down to, let's say, 20 cent, then our high actually only becomes $4.07. But I would expect overextensions under an impulsive structure and an impulsive breakout from here. So a few things to kind of look forward to. But for now, yeah, we are still talking about 655, but I would expect with the back of the SEC and Ripple, potentially an impulsive structure really getting some good traction to it. Guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you'll be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.